Okay guys, here we are with the ASM B-17. It's a 120-inch wingspan right at 10th scale. I'm getting ready to start working on a cockpit for it. I'm planning on, if everything works out all right, doing a cockpit, a front area here with the Norton bomb sight and everything like that. I'm also going to try to work on the waist gunner area and make a nice area so you can look in there and see the waist gun. Anyway, I'm getting ready to start working on the main cockpit first. The fuselage is it's like an ABS or a plastic. It's decently thick. It's over a carbon fiber rod and wood frame. It feels pretty like it will hold together pretty well. The fuselage comes in two halves. It looks like a pretty neat airplane. It's got the panel lines all molded in. The wings are all built up. Looks like they're jig built. They look really nice. But anyway, I'm getting ready to get started on it. I did notice that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make a nice scale front end because of the framework in here, but we're going to work around that. The first one I've already started cutting on it had a piece that comes across right there. I've removed that. We're going to try to get a little bit of detail inside the front. One thing I did want to show you, and I've already cut it. I didn't. I should have started this before I cut it. Anyway, when you get the plane, the front end is straight. Let me see. It's straight across here. This whole front is straight, and this piece comes on down. And what I've done is all these seams is where the fuselage halves are joined. Right prior to cutting this area out, because like I said, it comes straight across, I have cleared it out all but like an 1/8 inch, and all this is covered under the canopy. So you can remove that without any problems. All right. So what I've done underneath here first is I took a piece of I think it was 3 or 6 ounce cloth and laid it in the area and used some thin CA, and I used a rubber glove so I could press it down as I went and rub that in place. And I have made that really strong in this area here, so when I cut that I didn't lose anything and I didn't mess up my joint right there. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and show you that I have cut that out already. One other thing I've run into, I'm working with the manufacturer trying to get us a whole 10th scale crew for this thing. Now this is a jet pilot. They're going to go ahead and take and remove this this helmet and put the World War II style helmet on, and also the flying cap for the pilots. But anyway, we're going to try to have these. They probably weigh 3 or 4 ounces a piece, maybe just a tad more. But anything in front of the CG is useful weight. So if we can get 4 crew members up front here, that's the less weight you have to add at the end. They say in the plans you end up adding about 2 pounds or just a little bit more weight. One thing I will tell you, I'm not sure what type of glue they use. I would go in here before I start anything and reinforce all your glue joints. Okay. One thing I've tried, and if you'll read on the thread, there's a thread on RCU. I'm taking and going on the inside of all the joints where these are, because it's a small area that's joined together. I am you can use a PFM type glue. I am using it's called a goop, and they make all types of goop, plumber's goop, carpenter's goop, anything. And I'm running a thin bead on all of the joints, and what that does, it takes the stress off. You can see that it has a joint right here, and I've added the glue and it doesn't appear to attack the ABS or the plastic at all. So I'm going to do all my joints like this. Being it's your plane, I would test the area first. That's why I went to a nacelle and tested the area. But it takes all the pressure off the glue joint right there and spreads it over a little area. And over time, especially using glow motors, you may have a problem there. Anyway, I want to show you I had that cut. I'm getting ready to start on installing the front cockpit first. We'll get, as I get a little bit more done, I'll show you what I have done and how it's installed, and I'll be back. Okay, here I'm back. I've got the front cockpit pretty much done, so I'm going to show you how to go ahead and install it, because there's going to be like 3 or 4 different small cockpit kits in one in this thing. All right, for the floor base, you don't have to cut anything else other than removing that front piece here. Here's the front floorboard. When you get it, it will be cut. It will be pulled just like this. All right. What you're going to do is come in here and remove. You can see where it steps down. You're going to leave. You're going to cut everything that comes out at an angle. Remove it. Okay. And then we're going to go all the way around the bottom and cut the flashing where it comes back at an angle. Just cut everything to where it's 90 degrees to the sides, all the way around. Okay. And now you can leave a little bit of a lip at the back, at the very back, because we're gonna put a piece of plastic to cover up the back going rearward, so because you really can't see much going that way anyway. The only thing you have to do is right where it makes the 90 degree here, you have to pull it all the way to the top to clear a former. And so it comes all the way up to that top edge, and it's about an 1/8 inch wide, and you clean that out. But the rest of it you want to leave at 90 so it'll have a little bit of rigidity to it. All right, this cockpit you can't glue it all together and then slide it in or fold it and slide it in. You have to do it all in 3 separate pieces. You just bring it in from the bottom. You can see me coming up, and it will just sit right in there on the former that comes across. Okay, there will be 2 divots for your joysticks. I'll show you about those here shortly. Okay, now the sides, when you get them, they'll be on a piece of a plastic sheet. All right, what we're going to do is cut these out and cut all the flashing off all the way around. So we're going to cut it to where it's 90 degrees and leave it as thick as possible to start off with, all the way around. Once you've removed that, now this is the finished piece. We're going to leave this just under 1/4 inch all the way around the bottom. All right, at the top, as we come up, we're going to leave a 1/4 inch on the back. The top, you want to leave a 1/4 inch along the back. At top, you want to leave a 1/4 inch until you get to where this rail ends. Where the rail ends, you're going to come back 1/8 inch and make a cut, and then cut it right there where it ends and break that piece off so it's flush with the top. This allows it to fit over the edge here. Okay, it's best that you go ahead and get this all painted prior to putting it in, because you will have to glue it in place once you're done. And I would wait till you have everything installed. Go ahead and install it, you know, at the very beginning if you want to, but don't glue it in place until you make sure all your radio gear and all that fits in. Anyway, once this piece is glued in, I do show you that you do have to notch this out the back, right there where that rail is, so it fits across the back here. But these just drop in, just go in at an angle, and they just fit over that rail right there, just like that. Get a piece of tape. And I'm going to hold this temporarily. And I do this if you're trial fitting everything, just hold it in place temporarily with some tape. All right, the other side is done exactly the same way. You need to pre-paint it, but it comes in, it's cut exactly the same way, and slide it into place. These sides do fit. You see, I put a stringer here that gives you what those sides fit up against. This gives you something to glue it to, and kind of make sure it locked in place. Now you do have to reach on the inside and pull. You can get your finger on the back side and pull that side over closer to glue it so it all fits up nice and snug. Anyway, we'll go ahead and put this side in. Just temporarily tape this in place. Alright, the dash. The dash comes in several pieces. When you get your dash initially, it's going to be on a piece, and it's going to be just like this. Okay, you want to cut it out all the way around. Leave the base all the way around it. Just cut it at the 90 degrees and leave as much as you possible. Alright,